Hey, thank you for tuning in to Instrumental Intel. I'm your host, music producer Chick with Beats, and I'm glad that you joined me today. I got another episode that's got music industry news for you, instrumentals by me for your inspiration, and later my special guest, Rooted Sounds House Music, which includes DJ Milk D, 804 Deep, and BZ Reyes will be coming to join me, so it's going to be a great time. I'm really excited to be bringing this episode to you, but before I go ahead and drop that first beat, let me give a shout out to my home station, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And with that, let's go. back with the Music Biz Brief. First up, Utopia Distribution Services, which is a major player in the UK's physical music supply chain, has entered administration. Logistics company DP World has acquired its assets in a pre-pack deal and will now operate Utopia's warehouse. This comes after the collapse of another Utopia-owned business, reflecting significant financial struggles within the company. DP World aims to maintain continuity in distributing physical music products across the UK. Next up, Deborah Manis-Gardner, a leading music clearance expert and the CEO of TrackLib, have launched AO Music Group, and that's AYO, a copyright administration company. AO focuses on fixing decades-old copyright errors, educating rights holders, and developing overlooked catalogs. The company has already worked with clients like MC Lyte and Hero the Band, managing a catalog with over 1 billion streams. Also, Nation Broadcasting is scaling back its FM services in the UK, handing back 2 FM licenses in Scotland, and planning to switch off FM transmitters in Wales next year. The shift reflects a growing trend of digital audio broadcasting and app-based radio listening. Digital audio broadcasting now accounts for 43% of UK radio listening hours, and FM listenership continues to decline, driven by a change in consumer habits and rising costs. While the UK government allows FM to operate until 2030, more broadcasters are expected to phase out, following trends already seen in Norway and Switzerland. Next in news, over 600 musicians have signed an open letter demanding major music companies and platforms address unfair practices that harm artists and neglect music preservation. The letter criticizes streaming payouts, monopolies in ticketing, and the exploitation of back catalogs, while calling for support for nonprofit preservation efforts like the Internet Archive's Great 78 project. The musicians also urge venues to let artists keep 100% of merch sales and advocate for fairer revenue sharing to protect their livelihoods and preserve music history. Also, this story you've probably heard buzzing around throughout the week, but Virgin Music Group, the independent division of Universal Music Group, will acquire Downtown Music Holdings for $775 million, with the deal expected to close in late 2025, pending regulatory approval. This merger combines Downtown's vast music service offerings, including distribution, publishing, royalties, and more, with Virgin's global infrastructure to bolster support for independent artists and entrepreneurs. Downtown was founded in 2007 and serves over 5,000 clients and 4 million creators worldwide. Both companies will operate independently until the deal is finalized, representing a major investment in the global independent music ecosystem. The deal is facing backlash from the independent music sector. Critics argue the move threatens competition, reduces options for independent labels and artists, and consolidates too much market power into one entity. Trade groups are calling on regulators, particularly in Europe, to investigate and block the acquisition. They also warn that the deal, along with similar moves, like their purchase of Pius, could fundamentally shift the balance of power in the music market. Also, a new initiative called Kuvo, that's Kuvo, powered by DJ Monitor, aims to ensure producers are fairly paid when their tracks are played in clubs. Using advanced music recognition technology and metadata capture, Kuvo automates the process without requiring DJs to submit set lists manually. Clubs face no additional cost for participation, while benefits include insights into music usage and extended warranties for CDJ equipment. By improving royalty tracking and payments, Kuvo is positioned as a game changer for the dance music ecosystem, addressing long-standing issues with fair compensation for creators. Alright, next up, Warner Music Japan and NBC Universal Entertainment Japan have partnered to boost anime-related music globally. Warner will handle production and distribution for NBC Universal's 9,000-plus catalog of works starting in 2025, while NBC Universal gains access to Warner's indie distribution arm, ADA. The collaboration also includes developing music tie-ins for anime productions, offering opportunities for artists to contribute opening and ending theme tracks. This move taps into the growing global demand for anime music, with streams on Spotify up 395% since 2021. Alright, and finally, the FTC has finalized the junk fees rule, requiring ticketing and lodging companies to disclose all fees up front and banning deceptive pricing tactics. Critics worry the incoming FTC chair may challenge the rule. Meanwhile, the music industry is urging Congress to fix the Ticket Act, citing loopholes that enable predatory ticketing services and calling for stricter anti-scalping enforcement to protect consumers. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick pause for the cause, and then I'll be back with my special guests right after this. Rooted Sounds house music, which includes DJ Milk D, BZ Reyes, and 804 Deep. Keep it locked. Hey, I'm a chick with beats, multi-genre music producer and strategist to indie artists and labels. Visit achickwithbeats.com for resources for artists and instrumentals in various genres available for songs, vlogs, blogs, podcasts, themes, TV, film, commercials, and more. Once again, that's achickwithbeats.com. That's ACHICKWITBEATZ.com. Let's make something happen. Thank you so much for tuning in to Instrumental Intel. I'm your host, music producer, Chick with Beats, and I'm excited, thrilled, and delighted to say that I have in the virtual building with me today, Rooted Sounds House Music. Now, if you're not familiar, you definitely will be by the time we're done with this, but I mean, it's a collection of DJs / producers that know how to do their thing. And so, yeah, I'm really glad that they took the time out of their busy schedules to join me. And so if you could just give everybody a little bit of a taste of who you are, we'll kind of work around. We'll start with DJ Milk D, then go on to the rest after this.
Awesome. Chick with Beats, thank you for having us. And yes, of course, I'm DJ Milk D. I am the CEO of YurpRadio.com. I live in Richmond, Virginia. And I'm so excited to be on your show and also to be with my two brothers, BZ Reyes and Tony Fernandez. Crazy thing is, a Chick with Beats and everyone that's listening, house music has always been my love. Never had the courage to really express that feeling until I really came to Richmond, Virginia. And hip hop will always be my first love, but I always loved house music and freestyle music. But moving to Richmond, Virginia, meeting DJ Ojo, shout out to DJ Ojo. He connected me to Tony Fernandez. I want to shout out Sean Boulevard, who connected me to BZ Reyes. And this trio of us began just at the whim. Of course, the love for house, but being a DJ, producer, mix engineer, Tony, the same thing. And here I am, a DJ learning to be a producer. They kind of have taken me under their wings a little bit. Also want to shout out Terry T-Schnig down in Florida, one of my resident DJs who lit the fire to be a producer 3 years ago. But I lean on BZ and Tony a lot in this producing career that I'm going down now. Being a DJ, like I've told you before on your show, is simple. But being a producer, making the song make sense is a challenge. So again, I lean on these two brothers and I have a lot of love and respect for them.
All right, that's what's up. All right, so Tony, I think you're up next. If you're willing to share a little bit about how you got into it and what you've been doing behind the scenes. Yeah,
sure. I'm Tony Fernandez. I just go by DJ Tony T. I've been DJing a very long time. I guess before the show started, we're talking about Gen X. I guess that's where I fall in. I've literally been spinning for over 40 years. I've been doing it for a very long time. Obviously, I love it. I grew up in New York. I'm glad to say that I'm a native New Yorker, and that foundation growing up there just really gave me the bedrock and exposure to music that I was able to bring down to Virginia, and it's just kept up with me. When it comes to house music, it like Milk D says, it's my love. I was hearing house music and had an affinity for house music before I even knew what it really was. I grew up listening to it on on the radio with the mixed DJs in New York, back in the day. I was too young to go to clubs back then, but I knew what they were. I would be that guy that would, listen to the Drive at 5 and all the mix show guys, and I'd be like, why aren't they playing those versions at lunchtime? I just kind of just had this affinity and this ear for music, and that love of music translated to me being a DJ. Ironically, I didn't become a DJ till I came to Virginia. So had I stayed in New York, I don't even know what would have happened.
Wow.
But yeah. And then, it's so funny being down here. Almost everybody that I know that's into house music at the level that we're at, they're all transplants. They're all from Jersey, they're all from Chicago, they're all from Detroit, they're all from, Michigan. I mean, they're all from DC. I mean, it's just
Connecticut.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that. That's what's up.
Yeah, it's really funny. I mean, one of my best friends, he's from Jersey, and he's one of the guys who actually made it. I mean, he's
Smitty D.
I mean, I know him as Doug. He goes by Smitty D. He was with 95 North. They did a lot of work, on Strictly, a Motive, New Groove. I mean, that cat made it, so I was under his wing, when it came to the production thing. For me, it was kind of a natural progression. I kind of was under the delusion that I knew how to spin records. So it was like, I know how these beats kind of happen. Let's see if I can dip my toe in that pool. and honestly, it probably took me a solid year and a half to get to the point where I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense. And along the way, I really have to give a huge shout out not only to a Doug, who was so patient with me, and every time I came up with some rudimentary Sesame Street beat, he'd be like, oh yeah, that's great, we do it this way, and then I actually got involved with a production partner, Scott, who actually we unfortunately kind of, I shouldn't say broke up, we kind of split because he ended up moving. So he ended up going to California. He was in Florida for a while, and we actually are still in touch. And unfortunately, because of the distance, we kind of stopped doing production. But when we were in Virginia, I mean, being around him really opened me up to how music is made and how being in a studio works, and being able to wrap your head around, beats and song structure and how things flow. And again, he was super patient with me, and he kind of, I guess, liked the way I was working in the studio, the sounds that I was kind of developing. He liked the way I DJ, and it was just this amalgamation of things coming together. And so it kind of grew for me organically. So I've been doing production off and on for about 20 plus years or so.
Nice.
I mean, I've had a few tracks signed. It's funny. Before I met Daryl Milk, I actually was on a dry spell. I mean, I would do edits for myself. I would do edits for friends of mine. I mean, I never really got big in it. At one point earlier and way back in my career, I actually was a Billboard panelist DJ, and I only bring that up because I wish I was more prolific as a producer back then than I am now. Because when I was on the Billboard panel, oh my God, dude, the access that I had to the industry was ridiculous. I mean, it was, and if anybody's been doing production over, say, the past 5, if not 10 years, you've seen how the business has changed. I mean, it literally has gone from a record driven industry where you got to know somebody and you got to get in that pipeline and, you know, try to sell widgets to, you can do it all on your own now, you know, and again, that's a good and bad thing per se, mainly good, but back then, I mean, so we're talking in the mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s. I just had insane access to the industry. Had I had it, like I said, had my production chops, you know, higher up the food chain and my skill level higher while I was on the panel, I don't know, man. You know, life has been a lot different, you know. So, but it's been really refreshing and so exhilarating, creatively, you know, professionally, artistically, to meet up with BZ and meet up with Milk, because their sounds are a little different, and I actually talk to Milk more than I do to BZ, but you know, like he says, every time he sends me a track, he's like, "Oh, dude, you know, I just put this together and whatever," and you know, being involved in the creative process, you know, it's a super special and super intimate relationship. You know, it's one thing when you're by yourself and you know, come up with an idea and you kind of, you know, work it out, iron out. Bring it to, you know, you have the sounds in your head and, you know, whatever inspires you or you know, makes you feel a certain way. So you kind of bring that idea to fruition. And when you're collaborating with somebody, it's different. I mean, the process can be the same, but it's different because you got another brain, another set of ears, you got another set of eyes, and they're bringing their flavor to the table. And it was funny, you know how my part of it, how we came together. You know, it was like Daryl said, you know, we have a mutual friend, Ojo, and we would bump into each other like once every 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and I think Daryl was telling me that he was getting back into doing tracks. I'm like, you know what? I'm bored. And send me stuff, you know, send me your stuff, and you know, if I like it, I'll flip it, and then we'll take it from there. You either like it or you don't like what I do, and we just move forward. And I vividly remember having a very candid conversation with him, basically saying, look, man, if we're gonna go forward in this creative process, we just have to be bluntly honest. You know, we really got to be like, look, this track you sent me is, can we curse? I mean, not that I want to. I just, you know, I'm trying. But it's like, you know, this track is the ish. This thing is awesome. You know, I'm feeling it. Let me see what I can do to it. Or, this track is no. You know, it's just, it's not me do what I want to do with it. And to his credit, I will say he's been crazy prolific, you know, sending me stuff, you know, like, I just came up with this, or I had this in the back burner, or this was an old track of mine I just, you know, drug out from the back corner of the closet. And, you know, and if I got the time, I'll just, you know, do what I do to it. And so far, he's liked everything I've done. So, you know, I kind of take a really unique approach, you know, when it comes to remixing, you know, especially if it's other people's, you know, stuff. If it's my stuff, I mean, I hope it doesn't sound weird or hypocritical. When I come up with a track and I give it to the guys, I'm like, run with it, dude. You know, just, you know, I got my idea of how I came up with it, and it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And then if you take my idea and go deep left field with it, have at it. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh no, that's whack, because that wasn't my vision. because guess what? It wasn't. It's your vision.
Right.
You know. So and I kind of developed that workflow with my old partner. You know, there were a lot of times, and as I said, Daryl reminds me of my old partner. You know, like I said, he was so prolific. I mean, this guy we would literally probably hook up back then 3 days out the week, and each session we would work on like 3-4 tracks.
Wow.
It was ridiculous.
Well, Tony, I'm gonna cut you off for a second, because I'm gonna tell you what, BZ, he be telling me to pump the brakes, because I'm gonna tell you what, if it wasn't for me, if it wasn't for BZ, Tony, we'd have 100 tracks. And, you know, my brother BZ, right? He's a silent assassin. Like, when he talks, he'll tell you blunt, honest, like, yo, man, first and foremost, you need to put a hi-hat in there. You know, I love BZ. I love both of you guys. Love these two guys. And Tony, I didn't mean to cut you off, but BZ, I know I want you to be able to get in what you have to say, but Tony, if it wasn't
y'all can
for
keep talking. You know, I'm kind of quiet on the quiet side anyway.
When Tony said what he said about being prolific, and yes, I may be, and my foot's to the pedal, but Tony, BZ keeps me grounded. I'm already trying to get our second EP out. You know, we produced like 23 tracks this year, fellas. 23 tracks.
That's phenomenal.
I'm just like over the moon, everyone, on how productive we've been, from BZ mastering, mixing, implementing the vocals where they need to go to make it make sense. Tony remixing my tracks. We get in these record deals with Jump Beat and G Mafia and Ulysses, just so many labels. And I can't be more blessed to have met these two guys. BZ has about 100 tracks that he hasn't put out yet.
And I bag him, man. Bag him and tag him.
he's got some bangers. And Tony, I'm gonna tell you what, bro.
Real quick though, Get Down Funk. Yeah, that's one of my favorites right now. Okay. Okay. I kind of got that in rotation.
Very first track.
Yep, that's BZ.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but yeah, go ahead.
Where Tony go? He's still there?
Oh yeah, no. I'm here. Yeah, no. It's just our dynamic. I mean, and I think that's what's scary is our dynamic is what it is, and even though I know BZ lives out in Tidewater, so for us that's about an hour and a half away. I'm in Richmond. Daryl's still a little bit away from me, so it's not like back in the day, like I said, with my partner, where we would actually hook up at my house because I had a project studio, and we would physically have to be in the same room, and try to crank stuff out. It's again that the technology and the dynamic of how we work has really changed and evolved, and the scary part is we're just getting started.
I
mean, we've only been at this, like you said, what, 6-8 months, if that.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. I need to hear some of these bagged and tag tracks from BZ.
Okay.
So
I'm spark something right here. I love it.
But
y'all heard it here first, right here on Instrumental Intel.
Yeah.
Drones over his house. I can check it out.
Yeah.
Drones over Jersey.
Yeah.
I can't believe there's not a song out right now. Like, who's
I know,
waiting?
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I have one. Hey, BZ, I'll send you the vocals. Hey, speaking of that, look. Song called Music Meets Al Capone.
Oh,
that's Tony to remix it. Like I created it. Tony remixed it. I put my vocals on it. Shout out to DJ Al Capone.
Hold on. I put the vocals on that.
Well, Hey, well, I put my vocals out there, and he put
I
the
put
vocals
your
on it.
vocals on that. Okay, there you go.
He said, "Let's get it straight."
Yeah.
See, I knew you
So,
wasn't shy, BZ.
Chick with
I
Beats,
loosen
he's
up a little bit.
far from shy. Let me tell you. Don't
No, but
believe. Don't.
these two guys right here. I met Tony through Daryl. I'm BZ Reyes. Just to formally introduce myself, I'm a transplant from Connecticut. I'm the
Okay.
kid of Connecticut.
That's what's up.
Norwalk, Connecticut, which is 50 miles from New York City. Our train ride into Manhattan.
All right.
So that's how we were blessed.
That's
Because
what's up.
anything that happens in Manhattan bleeds into Stamford, Connecticut, and into Norwalk, Connecticut. Then in
All
Bridgeport,
right.
it starts losing its little flavor, and then New Haven is going a different way in New Haven. It's a whole different thing in New Haven. But house music's always been a love, but music in general. Being Boricua, we salsa, merengue, all that stuff. My music definitely heavy on the congos and bongos. you ask Daryl.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Freestyle, hip hop. Hip hop was always a thing. I grew up in the bricks, so hip hop was always a thing. But when house just hit the scene, it was a rap. It was just a rap. I remember going into New York City. We were buying records at Tower Records, and then we went to one of these little side shops, off the books type of place, where they always had a DJ playing music. Soho Hot, my anthem. They were playing that, and it was a rap. It was like, I'm in love with this stuff. My boys had equipment. We started DJing together. We would just do parties, and that back in the days, you could do block parties and stuff like that. We can't do that stuff anymore, and that's where the culture and everything from New York and people from New York were coming into Norwalk because it was only an hour ride.
Yeah.
So I started producing. I was producing and dabbling in Fruity Loop Studios back when it was just Fruity Loops.
Yeah. The OG. Yeah.
OG Fruity Loops. And then I went to Croatia with, shout out to Sean and my boy T.
Defected.
They went to the Defected Festival, and that really kind of ignited a spark. Back in, I bought a new controller. I got back into DJing. They was like, "Oh, you should try producing." So, Get Down Funk. I worked on that for probably like a month because I was unsure if I wanted to release it, and it was like, and then I was like, screw it. I'm just gonna release stuff and start releasing stuff. But now I'm still doing that. I'm going, and I bag it and I leave it to the side. I literally have like 10, 12 tracks. Just sitting around. I do play them though.
Okay.
I play them.
You do.
So yeah, I mean, just think about all the people that be listening and they try to Shazam. Like, what if it was just out there for them to find?
Yeah, the last time I did DJ in DC, and he's like, I was trying to Shazam 2 of those tracks, and I couldn't. I was like, I'll send them to you, bro. Those are off the books.
Yeah.
But meeting up with these two guys and their passion for producing, and Milk, he's full pedal to the metal. That he's go. Yo, listen to this. I was working on this yesterday. I was working on this. I'm like, wow, okay, okay. Can I put my vocals on this? And then he keeps the fire lit under this group because you know what? He was already. Let's go. Let's do the second EP. I'm with it. I have enough tracks. I could just go. Dust this one off. Here you go. take that one. He was like, "Oh well, Tony remixed it." I'm like, "When did you guys do this? And when did this happen?" 24 hours
so
later,
fast.
I got 2 tracks I'm working on. Okay, all right, cool. Let's do this. So I love the energy. The energy's there. The love for house is there. We're all passionate.
That's what's up.
And he dragged me into this kicking and screaming. No.
So, okay, I got a question for each of you. Man, I hate the time is running out so quickly. We got to do this again. But if you could pinpoint one particular house song that kind of sparked your interest, your passion for house music, what would it be? Or even if it's not a particular song, but, artist, group, whatever the case is.
I can answer that real easy for me. I'll try to keep the story short. I was in Virginia and ended up at literally at the drop of a hat. Doug Smith from 95 North, who I just mentioned, we ended up being like, yo, there ain't nothing going on down here. Let's go to New York. And we literally drove from Richmond to Manhattan, picked up his production partner in Baltimore, and we went on a Tuesday night to Sound Factory Bar in New York. And walked in because it was Tuesday night, so it was Louis Vegas night, and at Sound Factory Bar, and we parked and were walking in at 11:45, and we walked in, and I lost my ish because when we walked in, Louis Vega is spinning his stuff, and over in the corner is some dude playing keyboards, and I'm like, what mix is this? Like, I'm hearing like some crazy Latin tribal beat stuff going on, and I'm hearing Plastic Dreams on top of it, and it has like people losing their minds, and I'm like, oh snap, there's a dude in the corner playing Plastic Dreams right now.
Wow.
That was David Cole from CNC Music Factory.
Wow.
And people were losing their ish. And what
Jim's tone.
And if that wasn't bad enough, the song that really made me go like, this is it, man. This is it. This is how this stuff is supposed to be, was when Louis Vega dropped House of Gypsies, Sum Sa Se. It was a wrap. It was a wrap. It was a wrap. And then later on, actually, that night, I'll never forget this either, epilogue, and BZ talking about going to New York and buying records. So later on in the night, Louis playing Voices in My Mind, which was that vocal house record that has Barbara Tucker on it, Robert Owens on it. I mean, it has the three biggest vocalist guys, people at the time. And we're losing our minds. The next day, I call Vinyl Mania, and I'm like, yo, I need 2 copies of Voices.
Give me all the copies you have.
I'm like, hey, man, shut up. Nobody's got that record yet. Louis only got that record. That record ain't coming out for another 3 months. And he was right, too.
Wow.
Yeah. It was Sum Sa Se for me.
BZ, I'm gonna go last. You go next, bro.
No, I already said my anthem. My anthem is Soho Hot. It'll always be Soho Hot.
All right.
Well, BZ, tell everybody what mine is. You already know what it is. You said I can't play it no more.
Oh, wait, which one? Wait, which one? No, you gotta clear it up.
He got a few that he can't play
Cashmere.
anymore.
Which one is it?
There's 2 Cashmere tracks. He loves to play it. I don't know. You pick one.
He said you banned either way.
It's Percolator.
Okay.
1992.
Yes.
Oh
Okay.
my gosh, that's what got me really with house. Percolator.
Okay. Being from Michigan, I feel you on that. Low key for me, I think it might have been Hard Drive. Deep Inside.
Okay.
Nice.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's a classic.
That's an anthem.
The whole ghetto tech era had me in the chokehold. I'm not gonna lie. I was old enough to go to like the teen clubs and stuff. So yeah, ghetto tech was that was my kryptonite for a minute.
Hey, a chick with beats. How much time we have left? I know it's getting close, right?
Yeah. We got about 5 minutes.
So I want to say real quick, because Tony don't really know you. A Tone, a chick with beats, straight fire producer, bro. You need to follow her on Instagram, follow her on Spotify, and she knows what you mean, BZ and Tony, about me Full Throttle, because we did a track and I've been blowing her up. Like, when we gonna get this track
I
out?
know. I'm so sorry. As soon as we can, I promise.
No. But
no rush.
This track that she did is called "The Work," and it is fire. As soon as I heard it, I was like, I gotta put vocals on it.
Yeah. I had released the instrumental like a while ago on my own, but the house label that I've been working with was interested once I shared the version with DJ Milk D's vocals on it. He was like, yo, yeah, we need to put this out. So
Nice.
we'll definitely keep everybody posted as soon as I have more information. But yeah.
I definitely want to hear it because you know me. If I like it, I'll flip it.
You know what? And that's another thing. Like, I'm really big on that. So I don't really consider myself a singer at all. But when it comes to house music, I'll still do it anyway because it's all about the vibe. And so a lot of times I love, just like what you were saying, Tony, about like, you know, just flip it, do whatever. So like once I put it out, I'd love for other DJs to get their hands on it. I'd love to hear what people would do. And half the time, they make me sound better because they actually put my vocals in key compared to my originally.
Go ahead, girl.
I'm sure it's not that bad.
She's being very modest. No. She's being modest.
I said before, I hide behind harmonies, but no, I am not a vocalist. I know that, but I'm okay with that. You know, like my whole thing is to inspire other artists. So as long as I can get you to hear what I was trying to accomplish, maybe you'll hit me up and be like, yo, I want to try this too. So yeah. But
that's kind of how it got started. It was trying to get my boys from the army that we went to Defected Sean and to get spark the fire under. Daryl sparked the fire under me. I sparked the fire under them. They're still like, you know, holding on to stuff. But every once in a while they'll throw me a track and be like, listen to this. Oh, okay. I was like, let's go, let's do something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then I never hear from them for like a month. I won't hear another track for a month, but you know, this is fun. It's an experience. I encourage everybody to get into making music. My son actually is the one who actually bought Fruity Loops Producer Edition. I updated it and upgraded it. And I was like, really? You're making music? His music is more video game jungle type music, but he's getting the following and he's getting into me. That's like, all right, well, you know, your pops is already into music, so if you ever need any advice or something, and we could do something together, or if I have to spin your music, it should probably give me an earache, but I will.
That's dope, BZ.
Yeah, man. And that field is still growing. I mean, you know, I read a lot of music industry news, and the whole video game production. That's gonna be a whole. I mean, it's already huge, but it's gonna be bigger for sure.
I pray he does well in it. So I pray we do well in this coming year, 2025, for all of us.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's go. Let's get it.
All right. So we're in a little stretch here at the end, but I want to make sure that everybody knows where they can follow you guys, keep up with what you got going, and then I'm already advocating for a part 2, just because this went by so quickly. But yeah, if you could, within a minute, kind of let everybody know where they can find you, follow your music, all that good stuff.
Go ahead, BZ, you first, then Tony, then I'll go last.
No, you go ahead and just do it for everybody, because you're the mouthpiece, baby. Let's go.
All right. Well, you know, we're called Rooted Sounds House Music. We have music on Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, all the platforms. We have tracks individually out. So I want you to follow Tony Fernandez, who is 804 Deep. That is D for dog, EEP for Paul. And then BZ Reyes, that is B for boy, Z, REYES, BZ Reyes, and then DJ Milk D. Check our music out. We have some fire music out there.
Definitely. All right. Well, I want to thank the 3 of you for taking time out of your busy schedules to come and talk with me. I definitely appreciate it. I'm sure that the listeners do as well. And so, yeah, I can't wait to have you guys back again.
Thank you, guys.
For having us, the Chick with Beats.
Yeah,
Much love,
appreciate it.
much respect.
Much love. Thank you. All right, and that's a wrap for this episode of Instrumental Intel. I've been your host, music producer at Chick with Beats. And once again, I'd like to thank you for tuning in. I'd like to thank my special guests, Rooted Sounds House Music, DJ Milk D, 804 Deep, and BZ Reyes. And I'd like to thank my home station, Grander Radio out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I'm already excited to come back next week with more goodness for you, so make sure that you come back. All right, till then, you know where to find me. Tune in, tell a friend. I'll see you then. Peace.